How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jose, aka TheNYCGeek, aka TNG, aka your Elder Lord, aka to sit the throne today, aka your Tribal Chief, aka the guy who just finished watching episode 6 of season 2 House of the Dragon, titled The Small Folk. And if you've watched my earlier videos, this is your warning. We're gonna go into spoilers. I'll be breaking down scene by scene my thoughts. I enjoyed this episode. There's actually scenes that I really enjoyed in this episode. Finally got a payoff with the Harrenhal storyline that I've been wanting for. This titled episode called Small Folk got another payoff with a story that's been building since the beginning of the season. There was a scene that I heavily disliked. I thought it was forced in, really made little sense, but hey, that does not detract from the rest of the show, which has been phenomenal, and especially coming off the heels of the Acolyte, which was horrendous. Watch my season finale thoughts on this and so many others who think the same. And a video that I've been wanting to make on the Acolyte. Now that it's done, now that we have the full story, I can finally make this video for, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, spoiler warning, we're getting into the episode right now. Let's start this off, all right? We are starting right off in a cool scene. We're seeing the Lannister army. It's finally a move. It's not that it's finally mobilizing, but it's been moving. And where they arrive at the Golden Tooth in the Westerlands. Okay, so love it, love the costumes. I've been constantly praising this show, saying, where is the money for this show? You see it every time. Constantly, I've been saying, you've been seeing it in the costumes, in the set pieces, in the dragon CGI, in the and when I say set pieces, like you can see it in the furniture and the castles that feel like this is a place that you could just walk into today and see all these things, maybe in a museum, but it still is so cool. Look at this armor right here. I love it. Love it. I love that the horses have their barding. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but that is the armor for horses. I love it, man. This show does not fail to highlight where all the effort is going in terms of, hey, this is where our budget, our budget for the season has gone, as opposed to Acolyte, 180 millions. And I gotta constantly harp on the Acolyte because it is $180 million and you have no idea where that money went to. Anyway, this lord has arrived and he's treating with this gentleman here in the Golden Tooth. Now, this is the brother. This guy, or not this gentleman here, hold on. Once it gets to him, this guy right here is the brother. I don't know if they're twin brothers. I have to look that up, but he is the brother of Tywin Lannister, who's currently serving in the Small Council as the Master of Coin. And maybe they are the same actor. If not, then I'm very bad with faces, man. I'm the worst guy. I'm that guy that people bring their kids to, and they're like, oh, look at that. Doesn't he have his mother's nose? And I can't tell, or his dad's eyes. I'm like, I don't know. I've been real bad with I've been cursed with bad facial recognition. But he says, his brother here says something, and he says, I want you to send the Raven to King's Landing, because this gentleman's like, I have 500 troops, I have 500 knights, I'm ready, let's go. We can march on Harrenhal. He tells the Lord this. He tells him, I want you to send the Raven to King's Landing and tell my brother we are ready to march, right? Not even tell like the king that we're ready to march. Tell my brother to tell the king that we are ready to march once as soon as Prince Aemon is able to join us with Vhagar. That is a very, very disrespectful move for this lord to say. For him to even imply that he is summoning his king is insane, and it just goes to it goes to show the dissension that is still in these ranks, right? It shows that neither side has a really stable army to go with, right? Like it's not like everybody is 100% behind everybody, and I like that. It goes just to show that there's so many pawns at play, pawns and maybe even higher level pieces. And you can even see Aemon's reaction here. Let me bring y'all to it. You can see Aemon's reaction here when he hears that letter, when he reads it. He's like, "Are you kidding me, son?" Like, yo, I love, dude. Can I just say, even the way this dude crumpled that paper from like, you know, the fact that he didn't just like, I don't know, man. I thought it was cool, small little thing, but just Aemon's like, he dares to summon me. And remember, Aemon at this point, he may be thinking he's the Prince Regent, but in all, essentially in everything but name alone, Aemon is king. And for him to be summoned by by this guy's brother is insane. And even within Aemon's council, who, except for the Maester and the Queen, put him on it, you're going to see that there's people still here. This is splintering apart. It's not just his army. It's it's everyone here. Alicent has her own wishes. You see Sir Larys, oh my God, I can't remember his name. Sir Strong here has his own, it's late, guys. I apologize. It's late and I'm exhausted. He has his own wishes. Cole has his own, even Cole, who was before, you know, tied up, you know, they were pretty close, seeing the horrors that Aemon has unleashed, seeing what Aemon has done to his own king, his own brother, to possibly become a kinslayer. Cole is no longer eye to eye with Aemon. The Maester is, you know, kind of neutral, but he was leaning towards Alicent as well. And so, yes, the small council is still very splintered, even though they 4 to 6 agreed on putting Aemon as the regent. And you know, admittedly, the Lannister Lord is afraid of Daemon's dragon. Daemon may not have a standing army, but we've seen that a dragon with an able-bodied warrior, an able-bodied dragon rider like Daemon, like Rhaenys, will decimate an entire army by itself. These armies don't have scorpions with them, you know, the giant crossbow bolt shooting devices. And Aemon is proposing for them to ally with the Triarchy. He's tired of the blockade. You know, they're telling him, and they're telling him, they're like, dude, you want to treat with the Triarchy? Are you sure about that? And Alicent is like, I love that there's multiple mentions to King Viserys this episode, talking about how he may not have been like the, you know, toughest king out there, but people were happy and peaceful under him. And he was a lot wiser than they might think. And she tells him, your father knew this. Your father knew this about, you know, going ahead and trying to treat with the Triarchy. He's telling Cole, get your ass to Dragon Hall. Get your ass to, not Dragon Hall, Harrenhal. And Aemon is being very, very bold, which admittedly he is young and he should be bold, right? He still holds the weight of the biggest dragon out there. But there is a recklessness to Aemon's plans that a lot of people the whole council is, right? So anyway, Aemon and Alicent have a scene together, and he basically is like, you know what, why are you here on the small council again? Which he does bring a good point, right? Why are you here on the small council, Alicent? It's always great to see Alicent be humbled. She is. I love this. Look at that gown. Look at that outfit, man. Look at that dress. I'm telling you, man, these costumes are beautiful. Alicent's actress is great, right? Every single person on the show is phenomenal. But you love to see Alicent humbled. You love to see it. She's a hypocrite. Ooh. Sorry about that. I had a nasty yawn. I had like 3 yawns in succession there. But you love to see Alicent humbled, and he tells her, you served the council well, now get the hell on out of here. And I love this. Look at this shot right here. I want to put this here for a second here. I want y'all to see what she does. She leans in. She leans in, and Aemon's face is so just stone, right? Like he's just like there's no emotion there. He's expressionless, and he cuts at him. And I think she cuts at him because she lets him know, like, I know why you're doing all this. I know why you're going to the lengths that you're going to. He looks up at her, and she has like almost tears in her eyes, because I think that she's truly seeing that not only has she failed to raise her sons the way she should have, that this is a clear failing on her part, but the depths to what her son, one of her sons, Aemon, is willing to go to, because that line right there has have the indignities of your childhood not yet sufficiently been avenged. Remember, Aemon has suffered his whole childhood. They tormented him. He didn't have a dragon. He was bullied not only by Rhaenyra's kids, but also by his own brother, primarily from his own brother. His own brother still loves to torment him, right? We saw that scene with Aemon. Well, I didn't show it here, but if you saw it if you saw it in your own home, we see that scene where Aegon torments Aemon at the brothel, and she is like, dude, how much more do you've already killed Lucerys, right? You've killed Lucerys, who was the person who took your eye. Your brother, she pretty much knows. She's like, your brother has fallen at your own hand. How much more do you need? When is enough gonna be enough? When is your revenge over? And she said that to him, and I love and you look at Aemon's eyes. Look at Aemon's eyes right there. And I feel that you could see him softening up there a little bit. I can see a little bit of him almost realizing, like, shit, she's looking in, and she knows that, like, this, I am hurt. I still am hurt from this. I can see that in his gaze, right there. And then finally he looks away. And he hardens again, and he grabs her hand, and he for a moment, he'll take that warmth. We saw him. There are scenes in this season with Aemon, with the woman that he first slept with at the brothel, and there is a tenderness there where he's talking to her about things that probably doesn't talk to about anybody, and they've taken even that from him. Aegon took even that from him, and once that was taken from him, I think that Aemon, like I think I said it before, and if not, I apologize. I should have. When they took that from him, I think they killed whatever was there in Aemon, like whatever kind of, like, not the boy, but that gentleness that might have been there, that little bit of vulnerability. That's what I want to say it. That's how I want to say it. That little bit of vulnerability, they hammered it out by continually tormenting him. And I think that he realizes it, and he might even almost crave it a little bit from his mother, until he's just like, you know what? You can go. You can go. You can get the hell on out of here. So we go to Corlys. He's getting, he is finally accepting his role as Hand of the King. Hand of the Queen, I apologize. And Rhaenyra is trying a very, very risky gambit. We saw it last week when Jacaerys brought up, hey, why don't we get some dragon seeds? Try to fly our unclaimed dragons. Why do we not try that? So this is the gentleman who is the son of the Lord who kept his vow. This is the Dustling or Darkling. I think it's Darkling. I'm sorry, of House Darkling, who is her Kingsguard. That is her Kingsguard, and she's telling him, "Look, you have an ancestor that was a Targaryen." So they're hoping that even a faint drop of Targaryen blood will enable him to become a dragon rider, and he is willing to take that risk. He's willing to take that risk, and we go off to Harrenhal. We go off to Harrenhal. We're seeing Daemon be Daemon. He's going through visions, but this is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this. We all have been waiting for this. I think more than anything in Daemon's heart, I think more, and we see it. We see it in this episode. It more than anything in Daemon's heart, I think he is hurt by how things went between him and Viserys. And this is him reflecting and realizing how much of that is his own fault. How much he loved his brother, but how much time the two of them lost together. So we have him seeing a vision with Viserys, and this is the scene from season 1 when Viserys takes him and removes him as his heir for what he did. And I love that that line when Viserys is like, "You chose this to laugh instead to laugh at me, laughing with your whores and your lick spittles." And he tells him, "You have no allies at court but me." Like he's telling him, like, you have no allies at court but me. I've only ever defended you. And it's true. It's true. We saw that as far as early as, I believe, episode 1, when Daemon is in the small council and Viserys is like, "My brother would not, you guys think that he's plotting against me, but he wouldn't do that." He always defended Daemon. Always. No matter how many times Daemon messed shit up, Viserys always opened his heart to him. And he's realizing, and there's another better scene later on where he sees it further, what he has done. So, and I think this is the scene right here where he's like, don't say it. You can see, dude, Matt Smith is just, this guy just deserves all of the awards right here. Oh, this is it right here where he says, "I have decided," and Daemon's like, don't do it, man. Don't. And I feel like Daemon, maybe a part of him realizes that, like, this whole thing, he starts begging. Let me go back to what I was saying. Daemon, I think, realizes that right there and there, it's like, dude, how badly did I mess up? I've been set down this horrendous path because of my own making. He's begging to get out. Like, he's trying to get out. He's like, "Open the door, please." He's trying to get out of these visions. He kind of flips his shit on this guy. He's losing it. This guy's like the Sir Otherstrong. I'm gonna call him Sir Otherstrong. Here is like, guys, I'm not gonna remember everybody's name this late at night, but Sir Otherstrong is like, "Oh shit, like, please don't kill me." And Alice and Daemon have a little bit of a conversation. They have a good conversation. I like this conversation between them, and excuse me. I like this conversation between them because this, at first, Harrenhal I wasn't as like, I don't really care as much, but more and more and more, I'm realizing how important all of this story has been for Daemon. This is humanizing him, fleshing him out further. I love Daemon, the cocky, arrogant, agent of chaos going out there whooping ass, but I see where it was needed for the story for us to get some more of Daemon, not just being that. Why the peeling the layers back on him, and Alice is helping him see that. Like, he even calls. He's like, "I would like some, He's like, I would like some help if you can offer me some help." And he's like, Daemon Targaryen wanting help. And he's like, "Counsel, okay, counsel." But he reminds him, she tells him, like, Viserys never wanted the crown. He never wanted it. It came to him and he did his best. And like I said, this is not just the only, there's multiple mentions of Viserys as king and how he was a good king. Maybe people may not have realized it, or I guess not valued it as much when he was alive. It always is, you don't realize what you have until it's gone, right? And he tells him, wait a few days because the winds will change. We're going to see what that happens. We're going to go to this scene real quick. They are trying to lure in Sea Smoke. They're trying to see if this gentleman, if he could tame Sea Smoke, if he can, you know, become its rider. And the dragon, and he's stepping forward. He's not showing, you know, he's showing some hesitation. But spoiler alert, it does not end well for this guy. As you can see there, he is on fire. So yeah, it doesn't end well. Rhaenyra feels horrible. Horrible, because not only did she lose a valuable ally, she has lost the Kingsguard, Queensguard, whatever. And her gambit is not paying off the way she needs it to. She is desperate. We are starting to see Rhaenyra at her lowest in this episode. She's getting to where it's like, dude, I don't know, you know, like what to do. I can't go outside because my advisors don't want me to go outside. Daemon is gone, so I've lost one of my biggest dragons and one of my strongest allies. I've lost, my council doesn't respect me. My son is upset at my own decisions, and I don't know what to do. So she is questioning herself. She's questioning her claim. Not that she should, because she is the rightful heir, but she's questioning what can she do to even win? Can she even win this war? We get more of Corlys and his bastard, and he's trying to kind of bring him in under his fold. I don't know if he's gonna ask for him to be legitimized. I'm very curious to see where they go with Alan. I like, there's a scene, I might gloss over it later. There's a scene where they're showing Alan is shaving his head, and if you look very closely, there are pieces of white in it. There's pieces of white. I really like that. Really cool. You know, like he got his father's hair. He got his father's hair. So yeah, I'm curious to see where they bring Alan. Is he gonna be a dragon rider? Again, I don't know. I haven't read the books. I'm wondering, is he going to be a dragon rider? I feel like Corlys, it has to get him legitimized as soon as possible, right? Because he has no heir right now. He has nobody as his heir. So I mean, I'm thinking, who would it go to? It can't go to, maybe it could go to Rhaena. It might go to Rhaena or Baela. It would, I don't know who the Driftmark throne would go to. But we also have this scene here, and thanks to my buddy Garvin for, I completely forgot, I completely thought that these two characters were the same people. This is Ulf, and then I forgot that like, I got to look at their faces closer, because Ulf is a different dude than the merchant guy who has a daughter, and we saw him, and we're gonna see him later. I don't know who that guy's name is, but this is Ulf, who was at the bar, and this is one of, I'm assuming this is one of the White Worm's agents who is planting the seeds of dissension amongst the small folk. She is letting them know, she's telling them, you guys are starving here. We're barely eating, all we're eating is fish. All we can eat is fish, and barely that. And the rest of, and while they're banqueting at the castle every night, they're eating fantastic. So she is planting the seeds, and we've been seeing it all season. That's why it's called right here, the small folk. Seeing it all season. They've been mentioning how the small folk are hungry. They've been showing scenes. They've been showing the peasants themselves charging at the gates. They've been locked in. They've been showing the small council talking about how the people are hungry. Their, you know, food is, their food stores are diminishing, and they're showing them go to get food, and they're getting moldy fruit, and they are planting the seeds of the small folk being like, yo, we're tired of this shit. We are tired of this. So, Rhaenyra, ooh, I like this scene. I do like this scene. She's kind of being pushed by this. This guy has been pushing her buttons. He has been pushing her buttons. This is the dude on her small council. And she is just so tired of it, man. She's like, dude, I'm at the bottom of it. You are pissing me off. And she turns around, and his numbers were few, but we may yet retake. And she's just like, and I have to see that. Did he put his hand on her shoulder? Did he try to grab her shoulder? Let me see this right here. Like, No, okay. I thought that this was him reaching for her shoulder. I was gonna be like, damn, man, this motherfucker is disrespectful as shit. He already is disrespectful. But like she is just tired of it. And she's like, take this hand right here. Toma, hold this. And she says this line right here. She's like, I feel like it is my fault, I think, that you have forgotten to fear me. Ooh, she's like, yo, dude. And this guy's over there like, damn, let me calm the fuck down before I get fed to the. She is just up to here with them. And she holds her counsel with the white worm, and the white worm is telling her like, hey, you know, like I still think this is a good idea, but you know, we have a plan. Her and Rhaenyra have a plan. And they're like, we're gonna make this work. We're gonna make this work. Don't worry about it. Now, again, we're going to the small folk. They're struggling. They're hungry. There's no food. Dude, I don't know about you. I don't know about you, but I'm a fat bastard. I go a little bit without eating and I'm already getting hangry. I can't imagine the plight of these small folk. Not just, remember, it's not just them starving, right? Not just them. They're watching, many of them are watching their loved ones, their spouses, their kids starve to death in front of them. It's horrid, right? I can only imagine that in King's Landing, people are stealing from each other. They're fighting to get any scraps that they can. So they are trying to impress upon us, the viewers, how dire this is. They are hungry, and she's trying to get food. And then this is the mother of the blacksmith guy's kids. And then look at what passes by them. Look at what passes by them to further reinforce. Now, I don't think that these people realize, well, no, one of them does say it right there, right? But look at all these goats. Goats? Sheep? All these sheep? Sorry, I said goats. They're sheep. All these little sheepies. You know what they're going for. These poor little sheeps. They're going to get fed to the dragons. And he goes, look, yeah, sorry. See, the guy says it right there. Ulf says it. Ulf says it right there. Got enough sheep for your dragons then, but none for us. And that is the problem with fighting dragon versus, you know, with the dragons being used for warfare. The dragons eat already a large amount of food, right? They're dragons. But when they go to war, they must, their appetite is made increasingly so. And the small folk are told, like, Aemon is advised about this. They tell him, it seems, Your Grace, that the small folk have become restless. They've been restless, right? But Aemon, look at Aemon's response. It's just, so, and that is what I said before, the arrogance, the underestimating of how bad it is to have your small folk rioting. You can't burn it's not like you could burn your whole city, right? Maybe Aemon thinks he can, burn his whole city and just whatever, man, I'll just start anew. But no, you can't just burn your whole city to the ground. So I don't, it is impressed upon us that Aemon really doesn't understand the depths of it, right? And not only this, he has very little appreciation for Sir Larys Strong. See, I remembered his name. I think I had it right before, but I'm so tired. And I don't know who this guy is, but he is such a bit of a dick. I gotta look back and I gotta see what lord this is, where he came from, where he rose up from. I think this is his master of law, if I'm correct. I believe this is his master of law. But Aemon like shits on Sir Larys Strong. You take me for a fool? Like, you think I don't know what you want? Because Sir Larys brings up, hey, you haven't picked a hand yet. And Larys kind of tries to weasel his name in there a little bit. And he's like, I don't want you as my hand, bro. Go get my grandfather. But he does something a little bit more than that. He starts to insult Sir Larys. Like, he starts calling himself important. He's humiliating him in front of this guy. He calls him a toad later. He says, "Go fetch my grandfather." And it's a very, very dumb move for Aemon to do. Excuse me. Just like I said, you don't want to belittle the king in front of the small council. You don't want to alienate your small council life. We go here, we see a little bit of Aemon interacting with Aegon, and he's kind of threatening him. He's actually kind of like, not kind of, he's hurting him, but he's threatening him like, hey, what do you remember? What do you remember? And Aegon's like, nothing. He's like, yeah, that's what you better remember. You better remember that. Look at this makeup here. Just such good work here. I don't want to show it because it's a little graphic there, but yeah, he got like burn scars and pieces of metal, and he's in bad shape. But Aegon is being shown to wake up a little bit more and more and more. He sleeps like, I think the Grand Maester says he sleeps like 9 hours out of 10, but he's starting to wake up. He's starting to be a little bit more conscious. Not enough to rule. He's not in any place where he can rule. Not efficiently. He needs a regent or a hand to do it for him. But he is starting to be. He is cognizant. Right? He's still there. So there's a scene with Rhaena. She's in the Vale. I don't really care too much about the Rhaena story. This is a shot I wanted to show you. This is the scene with, because I'm trying to finish this up because I am exhausted, so I do apologize. This is the scene where he's shaving his head, and his brother is kind of like, dude, man, like, come on, man, we gotta claim our birthright here. We gotta claim our birthright, which is gonna be very important later. It is very important. Rhaenyra she's having a rough time with her son, and he doesn't trust in her judgment much anymore. But here is her gamble. This is their gamble that she's been waiting for. This is a guy who is in King's Landing, and it's a boat full food. Rhaenyra has sent food, and it's not a boat. It's not just one boat. It's multiple boats with her banners on them that they are sending across the bay, and they call it Rhaenyra's gifts. I like that. It's kind of cool. I mean, I guess if that, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's Dragonstone in the distance, because Dragonstone is not very far from Blackwater Bay. Or rather, it's right through Blackwater Bay, and it's right next to King's Landing. It's not very far. So I'm assuming that it's very easy to get from there for them to just send these little ships across the water and just go, boop, send them right over. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, she sends a bunch of ships there with food, and obviously this guy grabs everything he can. Alicent is spending time with her son, better late than never. Probably. No, it's not better late than never. It means little. But look at, here's a good shot of it. Look at that. Look at that. That's practical effects. That's just makeup, man. You could do so much with just simple effects like that, right? But she's trying to spend time with her son, and she is really realizing how much. She says, "I'm sorry." Hold on, let me put this. She says, "I'm sorry," and Alicent is really realizing how much she has not only cost herself, how much she's cost her children, how much she has cost the realm because of her own pride, because of her own arrogance and willingness to not trust in Rhaenyra, to be so stupid as to mistake Viserys's words, or, well, we've seen that it's not that she did it on purpose. She did mistake it. But Alicent sees that this is truly, honestly, it is all her fault. Yes, Otto and them may have been scheming, but if she had not gone along with it, if she had not pushed it, that their schemes may have died shortly after. Like they may not have had the support that they needed. So she is realizing how much of all of this is her own fault. And she talks to her brother. And I do like this little scene where she talks to her brother, and because she sent her brother, she sent one of her sons to ward with him. And she's like, you know, what's he like? That it just goes to show how little she knows her own kids. And she's realizing that. She's been sitting here thinking she's this great mother, but it has shown her this whole season has been the humbling of Allison. And her brother is less and less these days. And her brother, you know, he's like, you were always dad's favorite, but I like it. He does kind of see that his sister is feeling like garbage. And he's like, you know what? Like, well, you know, let me tell you, he's a good kid. He's stalwart. And I like that he says, he ends it with, he's kind. He is kind. He's adept with his loot as he is with his sword. And I think it's right here where he says it. He's a feature in the fancies of many a young lady, I'll wager. I want to say something about Allison. There it is. He's like, he's kind. And I like seeing Allison's face there, because it's almost like she to me, she wants to, and I assume wants to be there, right? She's so happy to hear about one of her kids not turning out to be, not that Helena is a bad person, but to not be in a shitty situation. But I think that part of her, he says it here. I think part of her, she's like, as much as she might want to be there with that kid that, you know, is a good kid, I think she realizes that she herself, as well as the court, is poison that has ruined her children, or put them in places where that no mother should want to see their kids in, right? And he says, for all the Red Keep, you know, like it's true. The Red Keep is not exactly the best place for the raising of kids. And she says it here. He says the line, was it the court or was it their mother? And she realizes that a good part of it is herself. It's not the court entirely. She thrust her children into a civil war. She's always spent her life. She has spent most of her adult life worried about Rhaenyra and trying to take Rhaenyra's birthright from her, and has never spent the time with her children that they deserved. So yes, she realizes she is a shit mother, and she is a shit mother. Here we have just the small folk are rioting. They find out about the food, and Ulf here beats the shit out of some dude and takes his food, his carrots. But yes, the small folk are starting to riot once they get once they see Rhaenyra's gifts. And more so, they're not just rioting with each other to get Rhaenyra's gifts. They are throwing food at Alicent. This is very much season 2. I can't remember the exact episode, but the exact episode number. But season 2, when the small folks start rioting against Joffrey, they throw that cow pie at him, and we get we're seeing it here. Boom, tis the queen of fishes. And they throw a spoiled fish at Alicent's face. You understand? She's not just a queen dowager. She is a highborn. She's probably never smelled raw fish, spoiled fish against her face like that, right? And they threw that at her face, and she's like, oh my God. Spoiled fish smells disgusting. And she's just like, oh shit. Like, and it goes about as bad as you think it's gonna happen. And she's telling them, sheathe your swords, but no, it's not gonna happen, man. Like, I think actually, is this the spot where the guy, she falls, she busts her ass, Helena's, like this guy, I don't know what he's trying to do, Is he trying to grab her hand? He's like, my queen, my queen. Maybe he was trying to help her up. Who knows? But my man loses that arm. Oh, God damn. Maybe that might be my thumbnail. No, I can't put that as my thumbnail. But yeah, he loses his arm. And that's the last thing people needed to see was, because now everybody is like, oh, hell no. And it becomes a riot. It becomes the riot that you expected. And I had a bad feeling here. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Like what are they? And some people are not against them entirely. Like you saw that guy charge and attack that guy. You know, I think there's some people that are still loyal to her, still, you know, some that are furious, some that are just scared. You know, I have thankfully never had the misfortune of being in a riot. Thankfully, thank God, knock on wood, I don't have anything. I got something right here. Knock on wood, I hope I never have that misfortune. That's one thing I've never had to worry about. I cannot imagine the chaos. I have been in chaotic scenes where, you know, after 9/11 and just stuff like that, but never a full-blown riot. Never people attacking the authorities. So, yeah, things are not going well in King's Landing. It is like what they said, the small folk. Laris has a conversation here with Aegon. Look, I'm not going to go into every little bit, but this is a great scene. It's a wonderful, wonderful scene with Laris and Aegon, and he doesn't let Aegon take the milk of the poppy because he's like, dude, they are gonna see you as weak, and they're gonna always underestimate you. And I don't think Aemon realizes how badly he fucked up getting this guy against him. Turning this guy against him was the worst thing that Aemon could have done, hands down. I think we're coming up to my favorite scene this episode. Believe so. Yep, right here. So I loved this scene. This is probably one of my favorite scenes this season. Easily of this episode. One of my favorite scenes this season. Because this is Daemon obviously hallucinating. And you know, he's telling him he's like, and this is Viserys mourning the loss of his wife, the love of his life. He loved her more than words, that I think anyone really realizes. And I don't think Daemon, I don't believe that Daemon was there when this happened. I don't believe that Daemon was there when she passed. So you know, in the vision, Viserys is sobbing, he's mourning, and Daemon's like I should have fucking been there, man. Like he's like I should have fucking been there, and it's such a fucking great, such an incredible scene, man. You know, like this is, and I think that it also Daemon sees not just the agony that his brother is going right here. Yeah, hold on. You needed me. You needed me. He realizes the pain that his brother's going through because he lost his wife, he lost his son, and Daemon's instinct was to mock that, to call his dead son heir for a day. And I truly, this is so powerful for Daemon to truly realize how horrendous of a brother he's been. He thought that in his mind, he truly thought that he was the proud brother and he's done everything for his brother. And he's realizing how little he actually did. And he's like, I'm here now. And this actually leads further to this scene right here. This is, by the way, I'm glad, man, I had some good time, some good luck right there. This is a confirmation that Alice Rivers does exist. I know that there's been theories that she might be a ghost, because I myself thought that a little bit when she was first introduced. Like, is she a hallucination? is she a ghost or a vision? It only in Damon's mind, but clearly the steward says our own healer, Alice Rivers, you know, volunteered. So clearly she does exist in the real world. Other people know her. We did see the steward look at her. I think it was the episode before. He did look back when she was walking away, but you know, that could have been him looking at whatever Damon's looking and being like, what the fuck are you looking at, bro? But we continue with this right here. And Damon is just, see this? He realizes he is at his lowest. He starts crying. This is, I can't remember when we've seen Damon genuinely just burst into tears like this. I know that he was sad for Lena's passing, but not like this. We didn't see him break down and just sob uncontrollably. And he is realizing the depths that he has failed his brother. I loved it. Loved it. Absolute powerful scene. Favorite scene of the season so far. Hands down. You know, my favorite character is Viserys, and my second is Rhaenyra. But I love Damon. He's my third. And I love that, man. That was awesome. That was beautiful. There is a scene here with Sea Smoke and Alan's brother. Yeah. Yeah, remember I said that thing about birthright? Remember I said that thing about birthrights? Anyway, they talk about how, so this is, okay. We're almost to the end, and thank God. This is that part I told y'all was my least favorite thing. This felt so thrown in and makes no sense. It makes no sense. Rhaenyra and the White Worm are embracing. She's you know, comforting her, right? She's like, you know, like, I think you are a fit ruler, and I think you would be a good ruler. And then we have them start to get intimate. They start kissing. Oh no. This just felt so hacked on. This makes no sense. Look, I get it. Rhaenyra has shown herself to not be the most loyal when it comes to marriage, right? Very promiscuous. But she has never once in have we seen any type of attraction to women show. Not one. As far as I know, and when this episode ended, looked it up, and as far as I've seen and research has shown, there was no inclination of that in the book either. It was very, very forced to have her suddenly just be like, man, I need to swap spit with the White Worm. Didn't like it, felt forced. Is it going to destroy the whole season for me? No, not at all. Does this destroy this episode for me? No. I just don't want this to bog down the rest of the season. I really don't. And if Rhaenyra later is like, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done that, we shouldn't have done that, and they don't talk about it and it doesn't go anywhere, I'm fine. I'll even take it as just Rhaenyra is at her lowest point and Damon is in there and she's just like, dude, I need somebody. But if they make this some obnoxiously forefront story, I'm going to be very annoyed with the show. We end it with this guy, one of her Kingsguard shows up, he interrupts it, and he tells her, Sea Smoke has been seen with a rider. You know who the rider is. And that's it. She's like, no, fuck that. No, I'm tired of this shit. I don't need a council, and I love it. She's like, nah, I'm going out, and I'm finally going out. I'm pissed. I'm tired of having to sit here. And Jacaerys is mad. Jacaerys is big mad. But you know what? I like her flying off and be like, I'm done with this. I need to see this myself. I need to be a queen out there. And I enjoyed that. I like how they ended on that. I love Rhaenyra. I don't want that. I don't want that sub story plot to go for her. But anyway, overall, a very good episode. Another strong building episode. I cannot wait to see. So here's my thoughts. I cannot wait to see what Rhaenyra is gonna do. Like, is she gonna try to bring that guy fully into the fold? Two, I can't remember Alan's brother's name. Two, I can't wait to see Aemon's reaction to the riot and the fact that, not that he cares, right, about his mom or the sister, but I think the fact that the small folk rioted and assaulted the queens, the two queens, is huge, huge. So that's gonna be, Aemon's gonna be pissed, man. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't think he's gonna hang all the rat catchers like Aegon, but shit's going crazy. We got that. Daemon. Oh, I forgot to mention. Grover Tully passed away, so the Tully household now has passed on to that grandchild. But you can see that Daemon's not fully there. I do hope we finally get him out of Harrenhal. I'd really, as much as I've been liking the recent changes, like I said, like especially this episode, I still would like to see Daemon have a more active part in Harrenhal. I'd like to see him not bogged down there for the rest of the season. But yeah, still a fantastic episode, still strong. Cannot wait. I have a feeling that there is going to be this is episode 6. So we have 4 more episodes to go. We have another month. I have a feeling that we are going to have another fight. If we don't, hey, that's fine. But I feel like we're something is boiling up, man. Something's going to happen. The Riverlands is forming there. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I thought it was still a great episode. Like I said, just that little subplot there with Rhaenyra and the White Worm. Didn't like it. Really would like to see Daemon be a little bit more out of the Harrenhal thing. I think we're finally seeing that. I think he is breaking down. I think that we are going to see that, because I think that this episode and the previous one has shown that Daemon is kind of being broken down. All the layers are being peeled. His core is exposed, and he is starting to ask for counsel from Alice, who's been telling him, dude, you gotta stop being Maegor the Cruel. Okay. So I think that we're gonna see Daemon finally realize that the throne is not everything, the crown is not everything he thought it was cracked up to be. And I hope that him and Rhaenyra reunite, man. I really do. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please, 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 let me know what you think in the comments. Hit all the buttons. Please, your time is super precious. If you spent it watching the video, I appreciate that. Spend it with some of your love, okay? Time is precious. Take care of yourselves and stay safe out there.